We're here at Forkin Delicious, and we're going to resume with the focaccia bread that we're making. All right. So if you remember, I made this earlier and I put it into the hot press for about an hour and a half. And it's after, look, you can see from the shot from before earlier, it's after doubling in size. And this is because we've created this nice little incubator in here with the cling film sealing it. And the hot press is at a nice temperature as well. So it's helping the yeast to grow. And you can see the little bubbles in underneath here. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a thing called knocking this back. We're going to knock it back. We're going to shape it in a tray. And we're going to have it ready then to go back in for the final proving before it goes in the oven. All right. So, but we're going to do all the work to it now, so that it's kind of just a case of once it's proved again, a small bit, we go put it into the oven. It will rise another bit in the oven. That's called oven bounce, right? And then you cook it in the oven for about 25 minutes, all right? So we're going to finish it completely, so you're going to see that. So we're going to just start straight into it, all right? So take off the cling film here. We can see here, look, lovely dough. Don't worry if a bit sticks to the cling film. It's not the end of the world, because we're going to knock all the air out of this now. Okay, so now I've just got a tray and I've just started to spray some, this is just a butter spray. It's just to help the bread stop it from sticking. We'll put that on it there. I have our dough here. I just need to get a small bit of flour, which I have here. And I'm kind of like double guarding myself here. I'm going to butter and I'm going to flour this tray. All right? Because I'm just kind of hoping to ensure to myself that it won't stick. I could put greaseproof paper in here as well on the bottom, but I'm not going to. All right. Now, a bit of flour on the table. And this, you see, look, has the lovely oil here now as well in it. And it's, you can tell all the air that it's after puffing up. So I'm just going to take that shape again. Not too much, not too violently. I don't need to do too much here. Take that there. Give my table a wipe there, because I'm going to bring that up to me. Now, what we're going to do here now, we're going to push this out. This is also, you know, we've kind of knocked it back and knocked a bit of the air. That's what knocking back means, is knocking some of the air out of it. So what I'm doing, I don't necessarily need for this to make a perfect square, because sometimes that looks too artificial and contrived. So like this, and this is still working nicely actually. So I'm going to get some toppings now to add to this. So as I explained earlier when I was making this bread, that this was kind of like I've been told anyway by Italian people that this was for the shepherds going up into the hills for their lunch. So there was different, you know, put into it, like whatever was available. So that's exactly what I'm going to do in here now, is I'm just putting in what's available. So I'm going to put in some garlic. I have some lovely little cherry tomatoes. I'm just going to put in some slices of garlic. And I have some olives, some feta cheese. I have some fresh rosemary from outside. And I have some sea salt. That's what I'm going to, and some rapeseed oil. So I'm going to brush it with the rapeseed oil and sprinkle some sea salt on it at the very end. So the way I do this is that I just get the pieces, whatever I'm putting into it, and push them into the dough, because you want the dough to come around them and kind of protect them a small little bit. All right. So the same here with the olives. You can leave them whole, or you can split them if you want. Just break them and just push them in as well. And you can make little clusters of a little bit of garlic, olive, cherry tomato, cheese, and a little bit of rosemary, or you can just spread them out all over, because you're going to be cutting this into kind of squares. And because it's so rich with the olive oil and everything, you don't need butter with it. You can just eat directly. All right. So a little bit like this, maybe a little bit. Not so much the woody stuff you want here. You want the nice edible little soft top parts. So take a little cherry tomato, give it a little push in as well. These get a lovely colour on them as well. Some onion would be lovely on this as well. But I think I have enough in what I have. You don't want to have too many things either. You're not making a pizza, you know. It's maybe it's like a poor man's pizza. But now we're flying it. And again, if you don't like olives, leave olives out. You know what I mean? Some people don't like them. I wouldn't be gone on them to eat them raw, but I like them when they're cooked on something. You know, in a pasta or used on a pizza. I love them on this. They kind of add a little bit of saltiness. That's really quite nice. These ones have been marinated in some herbs and a little bit of olive oil. Now I think that'll do. And when you want to pick rosemary, this is another little tip. You can just pull back against the stem like that. You leave the stem there, and you have all the nice little edible bits that you want. All right. Just give them a little push down. They're just going to add some flavour into the bread. You can discard them later on. You don't have to eat them. But they even give a massive flavour when they're in the oven, when the bread is cooking. You just get the smell of it, and it's delicious. Forkin delicious even. We forgot to say a few of them. Now, and some feta cheese. So usually I just put that wherever there's a gap. Push it down into it again too. The oven is going to be quite hot when you're cooking this. That's why you're pushing everything really into it. Even if after we finish here now, I might just give everything a push back into it again so that the dough rises up around it, kind of protects it a little bit when it's cooking. You get these little pockets. Now, the other thing we're looking for here is we can either brush it on or we can kind of dribble it on. So if you put your hand over the top of the bottle like this, your thumb, and then you just let it up a small little bit as you're going along, you'll get this little coating of the oil that we want for to create a little, kind of like a little glaze on the bread. And then maybe one of the two last things is a nice little crunch of Maldon salt or sea salt, flake sea salt, whatever you have, on top. Table salt is not so good. And then we'll just use a little bit of pepper. Now, we're ready to let this back in to prove again. All right, so it'll come up to fill the edges of this, I think. And then when that happens, we'll just put it into the oven and we'll bake it for about 25 minutes. Okay, so some people say, how would you know if the bread is done? Well, little knife in where you can see bread, you know, where there isn't a cheese or tomatoes. And if you take it out and your knife is dry, it's ready. So now we're going to pop that into the hot press again to prove for about 20 to 30 minutes. And when we come back, you'll see how it'll be done. All right. There we are. Focaccia bread. It takes, like I said, the two provens, you know. Then when you put it in the oven, you get that oven bounce. But you can see here, the tops of this, you can see beautiful. Really, when you take it out, you should take it out, put it onto a wire rack and allow it to cool, because otherwise it kind of steams underneath, all right? And, you know, it won't retain its kind of crispiness or, you know, hardness. Become a little bit soggy. So you can see here the way the lovely tomatoes they've cooked, they were put in raw, and the way they've cooked nicely in the cheese and the olives. Nothing's really burnt in it because the dough goes up around it and protects it. And then brushing it with the little bit of oil, you know, soaking a nice bit of the rapeseed oil, and then the sprinkle of sea salt really gives it that kind of nice finish. All right. So that's the Forkin Delicious Focaccia bread, lovely for so many things. Sandwiches, to make pizza, to share with friends, to dip into olive oil or other dips that you can have. Again, like I said, for sandwich, any kind of sandwich is delicious with it. All right. Even when it becomes a day or two old, it's lovely to cut it into slices and toast it, and put something on it like a sofrito, like a reduction of tomato, onion, garlic, a bit of sugar and vinegar. Like cook down all them till they really kind of take. Like we've done that in another video that you might find. A spoon of that on top of this toasted. Oh my God, it's delicious. All right. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and to hit the notifications bell. We do appreciate anyone that comes to follow us. We're delighted, actually. So, and if you have any comments, any suggestions you'd like to see, that you'd like to see us make something or do something, we'd love that. So please comment and let us know what you'd like to see us do. All right. Thank you. Thanks for watching.